Right, we're going to try something new on HellaBass Live this week. We are going to go open mic show, get the viewers to participate, the community, and see how it goes. Looks like we may have a couple people kind of in the queue. I don't see any video. Maybe they have audio only. Ideally, you have video and audio, but we're gonna try. This ain't maybe the greatest show I ever do, or the worst show that I ever do, or somewhere anywhere in between. But otherwise, HellaBass Live on a normal Wednesday night, presented by Arsenal Fishing and boosted by Powerhouse Lithium. You can support those great companies by supporting them with the codes down in the video description. There's also, if you go and look in the more description, the link on how to join the show, plus it's in the pinned comment on Facebook or on YouTube, and I will be putting it on Facebook here shortly. What's up, Jermaine? So yes, if you didn't catch it, open show tonight. Anybody that wants to join can just go ahead and hop on StreamYard. You can join for a minute. You can join for 10 minutes. All fair game. So I see Brew and Bass in the, I don't know, I don't see a camera. Maybe he's in darkness. But yeah, so anybody that wants to join, smartphone, laptop, all fair game, come on in. Devin over on TikTok, you can click on the link on your phone, join on the YouTube stream. So I don't know if Brews and Bass is there or not. We can try it. Oh, he is. Oh,
yeah, I'm here.
Mr. McNair in the kitchen.
Yeah, I'm in the kitchen. On my lake house.
There you go. What lake is that?
It's a private pond.
Not a little pond.
About 100 years old, about 5 acres.
Geographically?
I'm in central Mississippi.
Okay. Crappie, bass in this pond, catfish, all the usual suspects of Mississippi, or?
Well, yes. It was my grandfather's. It's family homestead.
Mm-hmm.
So he pretty much put everything in there he caught that he didn't eat.
Sure. He did some private stocking.
Yeah. I'm actually trying to do a little pond management through Mississippi State University. So the last 6 years, we've stocked F1s, Floridas, copper nose, red ear, or what we commonly call a chinky pin or a shell cracker.
Mm-hmm.
My goal is to grow a 10-pounder.
There you go. So you're trying to juice up the juice hole, make it a little extra.
Yeah.
Sorry, did you have to do some harvesting to get was there a lot of small fish in there? Did you have to take a lot out, or what was the situation?
Let me fix this phone. I'm trying. I'm old school. I'm not nearly good at this stuff. Yeah. It'd never been managed. It was your typical southern country rural farm pond that had everything in it. My grandfather loved what he calls white perch, a sockeye.
Yep.
Commonly known as crappie. So it had about 10,000 crappie in there. It was big as your 3 fingers. So
yeah. And I actually I obviously don't have a pond in Minnesota, but I actually enjoy listening to a lot of like the aquatic biologists and the people that do the private management, the Steve Bardens of the world, listening to them when they go on podcasts, what they talk about. And everything I've heard is sockeye are no good for private ponds if you want to catch big bass.
The worst thing you can ever put in a pond. You can't feed them enough. There's not a food conversion. Feed conversion, I guess you would say. They're overcrowd. They just take over. But I think between us basically just catch anything we catch crappie wise comes out. And an unfortunate event I had 2 years ago before I moved back to the lake house, which was my grandfather's cabin where I'm sitting. An otter got in there. So the unfortunate part of an otter getting into a small farm pond, they are serial killers. So they will actually destroy your pond, not necessarily for forage or eating. They will just kill everything due to their playful nature.
Like a stray cat.
Yeah, and it pretty much hurt. It took back everything I had done trying to build this pond up. But the upside of it, I think he also cleaned out most of the crappie.
There you go.
So we got the bass are still in there. They're raising. So we haven't caught any crappie out of the pond in any this year. And we have 2 ponds. So between the 2, I'm using one as a feeder.
Right.
One was built in 1980. This pond was built, it's close to 100 years old. It was built when my grandfather was a child, which he's no longer with us. And I'm 63, so I just put it in perspective. The one built in 1980 was when I was a senior, and it was built to be a catfish pond. So we're using it. Biggest bass I got in there is maybe 7 3/4, and that was an F1.
Yeah.
The Floridas, I've only had them stocked for 2 years, so next July we'll start culling anything under 14 inches.
Yeah, that's the thing is like selective harvest is part of it for sure. Well, it sounds like an exciting project to keep you busy.
Yeah, it's my giant aquarium project. So I went from tanks in my house to a tank in my yard. But yeah, I work with Mississippi State. They have a pond management program, and I'm trying to follow it pretty closely. And I work with the local county extension service through Mississippi State University. So they offer a lot of helping hand to help. Like, I don't know, like you mentioned Stephen Barden, their top biologist in Texas for his aquatic vegetation that's over the Texas department, is actually a graduate of Mississippi State University, where he got his degree in pond management and aquatic vegetation. It's his specialty just for the DNR for Texas. So Texas A&M and Mississippi State University developed this program for people that want to do their own management, not hired out to like a consultant.
Right. Yeah. So I do see the rest of the people in the queue. I'm going to try to figure out how we manage and weave this in.
That's I wasn't wanting to go live, but you kind of put me on the spot.
Yeah. Did you have any other questions, or you just want to talk about pond, or do you want to kind of bring in the others and chime in on what they have to say?
No, I just want to sit back and enjoy the show. And I've been trying to support your channel. And
absolutely,
I don't know, you may know me by my name or Max Signs and Graphics or Brews and Bass. I don't know how you.
I usually see you as Brews and Bass, or
you may see me on YouTube. I have my name on YouTube. I've just never.
Do you do any other media, or I forget? Do you have?
Oh yeah, I'm on because of my business. I have young ladies that work for me, and they put all my sign shop stuff either on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook. So they're constantly posting stuff, shenanigans, and sometimes it's serious. Some of my sign projects. So I'm a second generation business owner.
All right. Well, feel free to hang out. We're going to probably bring another person in and kind of see what they have to say.
Interesting.
if you want to hang out, otherwise you can join the YouTube chat, or it's don't feel like you're chained to the screen here. So
Okay, I'm probably gonna jump over on YouTube.
Okay, right on. Well, thanks for stopping in.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, we've got I think a couple of Minnesota guys here, Taylor and Richard.
How you doing, Rich?
I know. Yeah, good. Thanks for joining. I know Richard's got something that he definitely wants to talk about, and I think it'd be good to maybe get your opinion on it as well, Taylor. So if you want to go ahead and go, Richard.
Good evening, guys. Everything sound good on my end?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, if anybody, especially Minnesota guys and gals, as many people know, the legislature passed, and then it was signed into law by Tim Walz to allow a continuous bass season in Minnesota, which, as it stands now, that would not go into effect until 2028. But there is essentially a proposal on the table right now for the DNR to go through their expedited rulemaking process, which essentially they have a proposal to expedite what was mandated by the legislature and have it go into effect for 2026. And there is, Rich has got the text message with the link. I'm sure he'll blast it out all over the place tonight. I'm going to post it on my page on Facebook, North Star Custom Baits. They're essentially looking for emails to the address that's provided in the link, just saying you support the expedited rulemaking process, but because it's a public comment period, people can also request a hearing before an administrative law judge, and basically opposing adopting this in an expeditious manner. And they essentially need, if 50 people object to all or part of the language, there will be a hearing to determine if they should expedite this adoption of what was mandated by the legislature. So essentially, if you want this to happen sooner, you got to send an email, let them know you're in support of it. And if it comes down to a point where there's a hearing, people need to show up at the hearing, and you can sign up to testify and do various things. But ultimately, the goal is to not even let it get to the hearing point, to just overwhelm the Minnesota DNR with support of expediting this rulemaking process so this can go into effect in 2026. And essentially what it states, as we know, the season closes, the harvest season closes at the end of February. What it will do is the very next day after the season closure, it will open a catch and release season that will run until the second Saturday after traditional walleye pike opener. So it will just open up essentially March, April, and the first 2 weeks in May to continuous catch and release. And then going forward into 2027, it will never close. It'll be continuous catch and release year round. The same regulations protecting smallmouth, which we're in currently after the middle of September, those will remain the same. The harvest seasons will remain the same. The split up in the arrowhead, where that always opens earlier, that will remain the same. But I'm all in favor of expediting this and having this go into effect next year, because I want to go up to Mille Lacs as soon as ice goes out and find those smallmouth that are still schooled up, after this fall.
So, I mean, what it really does is it opens up 10 weeks of bass fishing for people that don't have to travel to South Dakota, Iowa, or Wisconsin to do so.
Or, basically, essentially, or the river pool 2's on down.
Yeah. And so I posted the link in the YouTube and Facebook chat. And I don't think, do you have to be from Minnesota to send an email? I don't think so.
No, because I guess maybe emails from people in Minnesota would hold more weight. But if there's somebody that's outstate that would say, hey, they send an email, if this opens up, I've always wanted to come up and fish, Mille Lacs, whatever, and it would give me an opportunity to come in March
I
and
would come to
April.
Minnesota and spend money and buy a license in April.
Yes, yeah, it's a way to increase the fishing tourism in the state of Minnesota. So yeah, people from out of state or other states, if they're sending emails, hey, if this happens, I would be more likely to come to Minnesota, buy a license, spend a week here, lodging, food, blah blah blah. So really, this could be a really specifically targeting guys like you and I, Rich, where we want this to happen sooner rather than later. But every email is going to help, and it's about time that this happens in Minnesota. And the people that have been working behind the scenes, even to get it to this point where it was actually passed, I was totally unaware that this was even happening. And once it passed, you had posted about it. And I'm like, are we sure this actually went through? Well, we're here, and now let's make it happen instead of waiting an additional 2 years.
Absolutely. Taylor, do you see any downside to expediting this and then getting this in place?
No, I'm a northern Iowa guy, so it keeps all you Minnesotans out of my lakes and rivers. So I'm all for it.
Yeah, keep the riffraff.
Stay north to the border up there, and you guys catch your own fit. No, I think it's actually a cool thing, and I agree. For catch and release, I think it's important. The one thing that I do have that I wish Iowa and some of the other surrounding states would do a better job of at times is the river's really, really susceptible to tip ups and stuff for big bass during the winter when they're in their winter areas. We see a lot of 4, 5, 6, 7 pound bass laid on the ice. I would love to see a day where maybe there is a harvest season for bass on the river or a slot potentially, because the river has to have a lot of harvest done every year. But it'd be nice to see that 14 to 16 inch fish harvested versus the 4 and 5 pounders continuously.
Yeah.
But
no matter what they do, they can't seem to catch enough of those pike, in my opinion. But
no, I would agree with that. No, open season all year on those things. So, Devin, what are you doing?
What's going on?
You and Garney right now?
No, I'm back home. I fished all day today on pool 10, and now we're back home. Got to go back to work tomorrow. So,
gotcha. You actually have a job? Who knew?
I do, yeah. Yep.
All right. So yeah. So Richard, I think you're from like the North Metro area, right?
Yeah, I'm up in St. Francis.
And then Taylor, what part of northern Iowa?
I grew up in Northeast Iowa, kind of by Guttenberg, down on Pool 10, basically.
Sure.
I live down by Cedar Rapids now, but that's predominantly where I do most of my fishing is on pools 9 and 10 for the most part. So, yeah. What's the maybe Devin knows? He should know. What's the off limits period for the Natty? Is that going
last Sunday?
Last Sunday?
Yeah.
Okay. So now that you're on, we got to keep quiet then, right?
Keep your mouth shut.
Yep. Sounds good.
I mean, you're in a public forum, so I think you could technically talk about it, but
Oh, so I can get info through here?
yeah.
I haven't been on the river for a while, so you're not getting anything out of me anyway.
It's junk.
But
yeah, I don't know. Anything else, Taylor? Or I guess, did you have any specific comments or things you want to talk about, Taylor?
No, just kind of my wife decided she wanted to watch some zombie series thing, so I decided that was a good time to come out and tinker with tackle. And then you posted that you're going live, so I said, "What the heck? I'll jump on."
Yeah, I just wanted to jump on and say, hey, this is something that's got to get done, and we have, I think it's October 26th, 7th. We have almost like 4 full weeks here, 5 full weeks for this comment period with the emails. So I look at it this way: bury that inbox with emails in support of this. That's my 2 cents, and I'll bounce out here, but I wanted to get that out. I feel that strongly about this, mostly for selfish reasons. I mean, I want to be able to fish the upper Mississippi above Minneapolis, as soon as the ice is off. I mean, which is the last couple of years, you could have been out there in February and March. The water would have been real cold, but I have a feeling I'm going to find out this fall. I have a feeling where they go in the winter and where they're going to be next spring. So, it's another opportunity. I mean, it's selfish reasons. I want to get out there and fish as much as possible. And I've got the Rum River and I've got the Mississippi right here in my backyard. And to be able to fish that in March and April would be just phenomenal. So that's my 2 cents. Keep up the good work, and I'm out. See ya.
Thank you. Yeah, I mean, I agree. For selfish reasons, I want to be able to fish. I mean, I do drive to places like Okoboji and the river and Big Stone and places like that. But like when it's Tuesday night after work and I got 3 hours, I can't drive to frickin' Big Stone. Like, but I can go to like 10 lakes that are 30 minutes from my house and fish for a couple hours. And
Right.
it'd be nice not to have to pretend that I'm crappie fishing or fishing for bowfin.
Yeah, I've never understood why there was not a continuous open season on the
I mean,
in Minnesota.
You being from Iowa, right? Both
Yep.
of you guys. Obviously, the river's been open all the way up and down, but Iowa, as far as I know, has had a continuous season. Any downsides from what you guys see to not, having a closed season or a catch and release season? Do you guys see
No.
Mr. Harassing during spawn and not getting recruitment? Like what?
I don't see that there's a huge downside. I think the biggest thing was not necessarily the catch and release side of it, but the harvest. So the harvest seasons, I think, are important potentially, and potentially some slots certain times of the year might be worth implementing. But I do think that continuous open catch, I mean, that just gets more people involved in fishing in the outdoors and more opportunities and more revenue, hopefully, for the DNR. I mean, that's there's no downside in my opinion. You get ramp fees, you're getting all the other things. It's just sitting there for months otherwise without being used. So I mean, I don't get it. I don't see a downside.
I think we need more education on selective harvests.
Yeah.
But in general, we don't have enough harvest, and the harvest we do have is typically not the right harvest. And
Yes.
I think that goes pretty much nationwide. Like more education on what's good harvest is with and like us as tournament anglers are the worst. We never harvest, and we should be harvesting. Like we should be taking 12 to 14-inch bass out of a lot of these systems at times, except for where Dustin lives. They don't have enough bass. They shouldn't take any fish out of those systems, right, Dustin?
No, absolutely not.
So Dustin, you're checking in from Illinois, right?
Yep.
Boo.
Yeah. Pool 18 and 19 is where I fish most of the time.
Oof.
That's horrible.
Keep the fish. You can have them.
I was just up on 10 with that massive mess of tournaments over the weekend.
What was there? Four different tournaments, I think, on 10 at the same time.
Yep.
So.
Yeah, I think ours paid more than anybody else's tournament. We had the least amount of boats.
Yeah, I was really contemplating taking a day off Friday to go fun fish, and then I did a little homework and figured out how many tournaments there was, and I said, I think I'm actually just going to go to work. So
yeah, that was a mess. I guess there was a guy there from Nebraska that was mad because every time he comes over there, there's tournaments going on, and he just happened to hit 4 of them.
I will say pools 7, 8, 9, and 10 are absolutely obliterated with tournaments every year.
That's not changing next year.
No, there's a lot of pressure, and for whatever reason, the fishing actually seems to be continuing to get not necessarily better, but it's continuing to stay pretty good.
The size class is continuing to get better. I don't know that the fishing or the numbers have gotten better, but I think like tournament bags seem to keep creeping up. But I don't know if I would say the fishing is getting better.
No, I would agree. There's a lot more pressure. Fish are doing different things. This year was different than the last few years too, just with the water being high all year. a lot of fish never left the backwaters, it seemed like this year. So it was a different year. My arm was ready to fall off from throwing a frog all year. Not to complain, but
No.
Should just kick him out right now for
Yeah.
complaining about frogging.
Yeah, no, there's no complaining, but yeah, it was a long year frogging. So
Yeah,
They didn't eat it very good today.
no,
We put 20 some keepers in the boat over 2 days, and every one of them but one came on a frog.
yeah, the frog bite's still pretty strong if you find the right area. It seems like. So I'm actually really curious to see. I know we can't talk too much detail, but the national championship being in La Crosse that time of year, it's going to be really interesting to see what the weights are and how the guys catch them, because it all depends on what the weather does here the next few weeks, but it could be done in a lot of different ways. And I think it's going to be a really cool tournament. So I wish I was in it, but I sucked and I'm not. So I get to watch it from a distance. But
Everybody that's in the tournament on the stream, raise their hand.
yeah, I know.
It needs to get cold. It's too warm.
It's a little warm.
Can it get too cold? Are you
No.
willing to no? You're like
We'll take the ice augers
knife
out there,
Durant?
Rich.
Like
We'll
Careful
take
what
the
you
ice
wish
augers
for.
out.
That's true. You're not afraid to bust ice with the Vexus. I've seen that. So
No, every year I'm the first one on Lake Belvedere,
it's true.
and I catch them. 20 pounds first time out this year. Doesn't suck.
I think Taylor and Devin both fish Bass Nation stuff and maybe some of the TBF stuff. I know, Dustin, you sent me a question in chat that you kind of wanted to float out and discuss. Like, you want to bring that up?
Well, this year is the first year that TBF has allowed your state to automatically send two to the national.
Which I think they actually had to
championship.
pay extra money to do that. Like, I think there was like a surcharge back to the state TBFs. I think they paid.
I don't know what all
the.
they've done
Yeah.
to do that. I just know that they offered up 2 spots, and in TBF, it went to the Angler of the Year of our singles trail, and not the state champion of the 6-man tournament. And then Bass Nation gives one of their 3 spots to the Team of the Year champions, but their 6-man team has to go to regionals. And then if you don't make the top 20 at regionals or however many they take, then that's how the leftover people get to go to nationals.
Yeah.
I just think it's kind of odd because you see other states and their state champion automatically goes.
Yeah.
And
So
I'm guessing
Minnesota-
TBF, the way it reads is your 6-man champion goes, and Illinois decided they're just going to send somebody else.
Yeah, I don't know. So like, there's always been a little bit of discrepancy, at least in Bass Nation. Obviously, the multiple qualifiers for TBF is new. So I can tell you what Minnesota did. Minnesota, we had our TOC 2-day tournament qualifier, and the winner of that got one of the bids, and then the top finisher at the semis got the other one.
Right. That's how I figure Illinois should be. And the kid that's going that won Angler of the Year, he's a damn hammer. I mean, he just won the tournament on pool 10, and he couldn't lock because he's off limits for the natty. And
Yeah, I mean,
he's fished the NPFL, and the kid just can flat out catch him. And there's nothing I'm saying. But the kid that won the state tournament's Hunter Litchfield, and he's getting married that weekend, so he can't go to the semifinal. He's amazing. He's done really well up there in the BFLs, the Toyotas. He went down to Arkansas and qualified for the Bass Nation there last year, and he ain't even from Arkansas. I mean, he's good.
Yeah. So, I mean, I can see. So, like, Minnesota TBF has a team trail, but they don't have like a solo series, like a pro-am. So we don't have an Angler of the Year in the Minnesota TBF. But I can see, like, I can hear the argument that an Angler of the Year has more right than somebody that wins one tournament to go on. Like, I could see definitely saying that's more justified to be qualified to go than Natty, or your better angler is going on. I mean,
I think that's one of the things. You're probably getting a more rounded angler that way. What the Iowa team has struggled in the past a lot when it came to regionals and nationals, just because our state tournament is almost always on the river somewhere. So unless you get lucky and hit a regional or nationals where you're fishing a body of water that you're familiar with. I remember going to Hartwell and I didn't have enough string on my poles to fish in 35 foot of water. That's way, way out of your comfort zone when you're not used to that lake stuff. If it's not braided line and 2 feet of water, I get scared. So, but yeah, I can agree with you, Rich, that Angler of the Year is going to give you probably your better rounded angler potentially. But I mean, the Iowa Bass Nation does it a little bit different too. Ours is basically for the Bass Nation, you have a state tournament. The champion gets a direct path basically to nationals. We only have one auto bid right now. Past years we've had 2. So you pretty much you're winning, you're in, but that's about it. Otherwise they help you out with your entry to regionals, but that's the only other benefit basically to fishing that. Otherwise it's just kind of a pay to play at regional with everybody else. So
yeah. So Bass Nation, we have been all of our direct national qualifiers come straight from our 3-day tournament of champions.
Yep.
Also, our Bass Nation also has a team trail, but they do not have any kind of individual type of Angler of the Year qualifier.
Yeah.
The people that fish team trail go on to fish the Team Series Bassmaster Championship. They get like 2 or 3 spots or whatever for that. And then the TBF sends people to the NBAA Championship for their team trail. But really, we have one tournament in each. And then obviously for Bass Nation, we get automatic qualifiers, the next 10 or 15 or whatever to go to the regional qualifiers. They get guaranteed spots. And then I think our state reimburses them for their entry fees. So they get a little bit of financial support from the state. But yeah, so I think everybody lost some. I think we went from 6 to 5 because I think they're shrinking the national championship is the rumor I'm hearing. They're going to get it closer to 150 boats instead of 250.
Yeah, that's what I heard too.
No, nothing official, but that's what I've heard. So
yeah, our TBF and Bass Nation are night and day. I mean, I've won the TBF 3 times. And I won the Bass Nation one once. And the amount of stipend money you get is night and day different.
Which one's bigger in Illinois?
They're both about the same. I mean, this year's Bass Nation had 40 boats and the TBF had 30, 32.
Like total members in like.
I have no clue. I mean, the way they're setting up the national or the regionals and stuff now, they've basically taken the Federation and Bass Nation out of the equation. People don't even have to. And if you fish the TBF state the trail, as long as you fish 4 tournaments and you finish in the top 20% in one tournament, you qualify for the semifinal. And they go down the list. So if you're at the last tournament of the year and you finish 30th and everybody else ahead of you qualified, you're automatically in the TBF the semifinal.
Yeah, they go down. So our TBF in Minnesota probably has like 50 members ish, like less than 100. But Bass Nation is probably like 400 plus members in Minnesota. So it's considerably bigger, Bass Nation. We've always gotten way more support from Bass Nation. When prior to the current system, when there was the 10-man, 12-man, 20-man teams, the Bass Nation really did a lot for our teams. We always stayed at way nicer houses than Iowa did in Illinois. So
can confirm.
Hey, when I went to Oahe, I got 2 beers and 3 slices of pizza.
The first time I went to the Nationals on Monroe Lake in Indiana, every other team was staying at the resort except for Illinois, and they were at some shabby motel like 30 miles away.
Yep.
Sounds about right.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I kind of like both of the systems, to be honest. Like TBF, I like the fact, like when they were both doing the same thing and they were both sending whatever 10-man, 12-man teams, and they were both week long, and you had a 8-state radius that you could fish a regional. If you made both of those in the same year, that was a pain. Like that was a hardship, right? And a lot of times I would have to, like, if I made a TBF regional, I'd end up missing my Bass Nation, like TOC or something like that a lot of the times. So when TBF went to the semi regionals, I really liked that because it like shrunk the, like, it's either I'm going to be in Minnesota, Wisconsin, and since Iowa can't get their crap together and have enough people, we didn't have to worry about going there because they were in our region. But now I think they're like somehow with South Dakota and Nebraska or something. But so it's like literally just every other year, my semifinals are in Minnesota, Wisconsin. So it's like, you know, it's smaller fields, 2-day tournaments. Like, I don't need a whole week. Like, and then I think they cut the practice off. So like, you're going to take off 2 or 3 days. You don't need a whole week. You're not going to spend a ton of money, which is nice. And then the Bass Nation kind of went the other way, and they got bigger. You know, we were going to like Gunnersville for mega regionals and that kind of stuff. And I think they kind of balanced out. But
our TBF semifinal last year with Indiana was cleared up in St. Clair. And the wind blew and nobody caught them. It was rough.
Yeah, that's one thing.
I was gonna say I do miss the days of the old format with the nation and the 10-man teams and fishing for the state, you know, the state titles and stuff a little bit, or the team championship. That was a lot of fun to travel with a group of guys to go down and fish, all with, you know, the state jerseys and all the things that went along with that. But, you know, times have changed. It's definitely different. Yeah.
Yeah. I think Minnesota, we won like the last 3 in the northern region before they went away with it.
Yeah. Does not surprise me. A lot of good fishermen. And that actually, you know what? I am against opening up the season earlier because then you guys just going to be that much better, that much sharper.
You're going to know how to catch pre-spawn bass.
Yeah, you guys, we got to keep pre-spawn a clue in an area where you guys just don't know what you're doing.
Yeah. I mean, I do like, I mean, I was fortunate enough to fish 3 of those 50 boat national championships, and I don't know how many state teams I actually, you know, probably 10 or 12. And they were a great time and some of the best memories. But I mean, I also don't fault Bass if it wasn't, you know, they are a for-profit organization, and if this is a better financial structure, and I feel like there's a lot of, I don't know what the sentimental value and kind of like nostalgia that went away with the old program.
Yeah.
But I don't think the end opportunities have really gotten any worse. I think if anything, like the opportunity to win money and like move on, and like obviously the numbers in the national championship and your chances of like, but the rest of it, like the payouts you can get at the qualifiers and the payouts at the national championship and what you get when you move on has gotten, it's as good or better.
Yeah.
So that part, you know, from like an economic standpoint, if it's working for them, it's really not any worse for the angler, in my opinion. So
no,
I guess
I
I'm trying to be open-minded to it with not getting too much hung up on the nostalgia of it.
Yeah, the nostalgia is the thing I miss. I think just the traveling with the group, that was always fun. But I agree. I think you can, like I said, you can pay to play at a regional, and you're one tournament away from the national championship, and that's still pretty cool. I mean, it kind of turns into a little bit of a mini open, but I mean, if you can't beat enough guys to qualify at that, you don't have a chance at nationals anyway. So there's some pretty good sticks in those tournaments. So,
and I've fished. I guess I only fished one. I know, Devin, did you fish? Obviously, you fished Peckwick. Did you fish the year before in lacrosse?
No, I'm not a pre-spawn or a smallmouth spawn guy on the river. I can't catch them that time of year.
But I'm saying, like, but you do have so you've only fished one qualifier. I've only fished one qualifier.
Yep.
I think they were fantastically run tournaments.
Yeah.
Like and I fished a whole circuit of the Opens the year before as well, and to me they were like, if you were blindfolded and you didn't know what you were paying for an entry fee, you wouldn't really want much difference on whether you're fishing an Open or a qualifier.
Yeah.
Yep.
As far as how it was run, how it was organized, the trailers, all that kind of stuff.
Yep.
Yeah, I was in lacrosse. I thought it was really cool as well. And honestly, for, you know, getting 180 whatever some boats that we had in and out of the water, and through check-in with a guy, and a lot of the guys, we all fish tournaments, but maybe not at that level all the time. So even with that, like, everything went super smooth, and I thought it was cool.
Communications were good. I mean,
Yeah.
they were really good about like sending out all the documents and like it was like so. I was fishing the opens that same year, and it was very on par with the communications that came from GL versus what came from the opens tournament directors. Hank, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I think
So
GL's great. I actually texted him a couple days ago about a couple different things, and I mean, he was on it right away, responded right away, and didn't have any trouble with that. So
I was kind of surprised when I went to Grand. Like, I was just, I'd met him briefly at the qualifier. Never really talked to him other than like, on stage, like in the ceremonies at lacrosse, and like backing down the ramp at Grand Lake, and he's like, "Hey, Rich, what's going on?" And I was like, I mean, like, I don't know. I mean, he weighed in how many guys across 4 qualifiers all year, and like just was like fired off your name. I was pretty impressed, to be honest.
GL had a rough week at Erie.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how much that. Right. I don't know how much he is part of the planning, right? I don't know if he gets to like say where they go and the hosts and all that kind of stuff, but he was dealt a tough situation.
Oh yeah. That boat ramp was not in a good spot. If they would launched out of the river, they wouldn't have canceled anything. But I can only imagine how many text messages he got. I mean, my trolling motor broke and I found a part over at JVD's shop and drove 2.5 hours one way to get one of the parts that broke. And we manufactured a bolt to put a pin in there and just waiting around to see how many people were going to even get their boats back together to fish the last day. And then we showed up and the wind was just howling at the boat ramp and residual waves from the day before. There's no way we were launching again. And he just had to take the blunt of that blow, I guess.
Yeah, somebody told me that literally before, like when the schedule came out, that like that was probably going to happen.
It was rougher than Oahe was that first day when that storm blew through in the middle of the first day.
Mm-hmm.
It made that look like child's play.
Yeah, I think that shows the importance of having good facilities for a tournament, and that's why a lot of people want to see bass go to a lot of different places. But just the logistics alone, trying to get boats in and out, keep people safe. There was a similar situation at Winneconne, a couple of years ago in a regional where the wind was blowing straight out of the south and the ramp was way at the north end of the lake. And that was a tough situation. And that ramp wasn't set up the best to handle that. There was no wave breaks or nothing. I mean, it's just facilities make a huge difference on the quality of the tournament.
If they would have taken out of the ramp, like when I fished a regional there, we took out of that, I forget what it cost, right in Oshkosh, right around the corner from
in Winneconne, probably there.
I forget, like it's right at the mouth. I forget what it is, but it's literally like a 2-minute run and you're around. I mean, you might have to like hold your bow up for 5 minutes to get around the corner, but then you can get in the river and you can get into Winneconne and Poygan and the Wolf and the Fox, right? Like,
that's where a lot of the BFLs go out of, is what I understand. And
well, they go out of Winneconne down like the chain, but this was like right on Bago, right around the corner from the river.
Oh, okay.
And it's a protected harbor, so people can stage and they can do all things. You can go out and you fight it for a little bit, and then if you really think you can still fish, but you're at least halfway down the lake too, so you're not like But yeah, that lake's like Mille Lacs in the fact that it's shallow and it gets
nothing to stop a wave out there. So
breaks. But so what do you guys think about the process? I hear people complaining about how like eventually anybody that's like a Bass Nation at large member can get into these qualifiers. What are your guys' thoughts on that?
I'm not a big fan of it.
No,
I mean, you got people now that are chasing around this qualifier like it's an open trail. And I'm not taking away from their fishing abilities or anything like that, but it takes part of the federation away from the people who actually they work. I mean, last year I went to that qualifier. Our state 6-man was the weekend before, so I left our state 6-man, went home, slept for an hour, repacked my suitcase, jumped in the truck, and got to Erie at 8 o'clock with a day and a half of pre-fish left, and I'd never seen Erie a day in my life.
Yeah.
I mean, it's more for the federation. A federation thing to me isn't a big travel circuit, and you had people that were there the whole pre-fish, and they went to every one of them until they got qualified.
Yeah, I mean, I see the flip side of it too, though. Like I got 3 little kids at home. I don't have a lot of time to spend fishing tournaments, and if I had to fish a few tournaments to qualify just to get to that point, the time and money, it would probably take me out of even had a chance to do it. So, I can essentially show up to a regional, and that's just the flip side of it, right? Like,
Right.
and I don't fish near as much, so a chance of me qualifying at this point isn't near as good either. But I do think that there's only 2 sides to it. I also understand that as the nostalgic person that did like the state teams and traveling with the state team, but having the ability for me, like next year, I have an opportunity in lacrosse to just pay to play again. That's pretty nice for me. I have an opportunity to do that. I'm not one that's going to travel to Pickwick or somewhere. Probably it just doesn't work with my life right now. But
you're going to have one that's.
Yeah, typically I'll have one within range if I can have a try
at one every year.
Yep.
Yeah. I like that it gives everybody a pretty even chance at getting after it.
I would say it would be different if they were turning people away from entering, like if the fields got to where they were turning boats away. Yeah. That would maybe be a little different in my opinion. Like I haven't had an issue if I wanted to fish one getting in one. I don't know if anyone else has had that issue, but it seems like if you wanted to fish it and you paid, you could get in.
Well, that's my thing is they did build in 2 rounds, right? Like we get our automatic qualifiers from our states, right? And then we get open for the club people all have a chance and they get a period before it goes out to the at-large.
Right.
So my thing is like, if you're mad about it, sign up. If all the club guys sign up, the open guys can't get in. So if we really cherish this regional qualifier and want to keep it for the club members, we got to sign up. That's how you keep out the jackpotters, if you want to call them that, or the semi-pros or the people that are trying to use this as another venue of the open. So rather than sit there and complain about it, but if you're not willing to go fish it, Bass Nation set these up as a for-profit organization, and I don't blame them for trying to fill the fields. And right, they make monies by filling fields with entry fees. So that's my thought. It would be great if we had guys that were direct qualifiers that got reimbursed that decided to, go on a hunting trip instead of going on the qualifier. And that's my thought. Like I would prefer that guys like, Josh Douglas and guys that are fishing the EQs and guys like that didn't get into the qualifiers. But if we're not going to use the spots, then I don't blame for Bass for filling them.
Makes sense.
So,
yeah, agreed.
I see Baitman trying to peek in and out, but he keeps disappearing every time I. So
I'm going to get in trouble being on the work computer.
I'm sure it's just his phone.
Have you heard if they're going to move this thing around more than they are? Because I'm guessing in the Midwest and the North, finding a venue that will hold that many boats and have that much lodging is going to be difficult to find.
And I'm kind of surprised that, I was kind of surprised they went back. I mean, I'm not complaining. Like, obviously, I made it out of lacrosse last time, pretty much the same week, 2 years ago or whatever.
Yeah.
But I figured it was going to be like Table Rock or Lake of the Ozarks or something like that. That's kind of where I guess the next qualifier was going to be. But
yeah, the number of national tournaments in lacrosse has been pretty crazy the last couple of years, honestly.
Did they announce where the next nationals is? I heard a rumor that it's going to be back in lacrosse again next year.
So you're saying in 2026 or 2027?
Yes. 2026.
So you're saying that if I sign up in 2026 in May, I could be fishing for a championship in lacrosse?
Yes.
That's how it was.
That's how it was this year, because the only reason I signed up for Pickwick is because they put out that it was in lacrosse.
No, but I know, but you couldn't fish lacrosse to get to lacrosse. So, I mean, I think I could see them going 2027 back to lacrosse, not 2026. I don't think they're going to have a qualifier and a national championship on the same.
Yeah, that's a good point.
You actually there, Baitman?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm in the break.
How long's your break here?
I got about 30 minutes. I'm on my lunch break.
What's the vibe? I mean, I don't know how close you are to the Bass Nation, in Kentucky. What are people's thoughts on the new system down there? What's the vibe?
So I'm gonna be really honest. Bass Nation is almost an afterthought here in Kentucky. At least where I'm at. I think it's more popular when you get around Lexington, uh, Central Kentucky, guys that fish different lakes. But as far as Bass Nation here on Kentucky Lake, Western Kentucky, it's really not a big deal.
Is TBF a bigger thing, or are they just not the grassroots club stuff there?
Just my opinion. We've got a couple clubs that do TBF or whatnot, but man, they struggle to get boats. Just my opinion.
Yeah. Well, a lot of sometimes every state's a little different, and kind of depends on the leadership too, right? Like,
Yeah. I feel like bass clubs in this area were way stronger in the early 90s, mid 90s. Like that Paducah Bass Club was how my dad met Mark Menendez and how I got introduced to Mark. And man, the bass clubs here, they struggle to get 10, 12 boats. It's just not strong anymore for whatever reason.
Do you think that there's more clubs down there that are just taken away and kind of dispersing the crowd, so to speak, or do you think it's just lack of interest now?
I think it's lack of interest. So, like where I live, what's really popular is the BFLs and, ABA's had series here too, and they just don't draw the boats, but, even the BFL participation's down. So I don't know what it is, to be honest with you. I mean, I like, the federation stuff, the bass clubs, but it just doesn't resonate with people. There's literally 2 or 3 tournaments every weekend. We had a little break there with the lake kind of sucking for a few years. Now, all these good reports, everybody and their brother wants to come. USA Bass and just had a Trey McKinney tournament, and they had 60 boats, but there's also 600 something college anglers on the lake the same weekend. So what I think is we got too much going on. So you can pick and choose over 3 or 4 different tournaments every weekend. There's not really an open slot, for the federation to slide in there.
Yeah, our TBF trail, their open trail we have for the federation is the highest paying trail in the state. We pay better than BFLs do and only get about 30 boats. It's interesting because our BFL circuit, the Illini Trail, basically is Lake Shelbyville, which is 3 hours south of me, to Kentucky Lake. And in the Great Lakes Division, they stay pool 10 and above, and nobody fishes the northern half of Illinois. And we get 30 boats. Some years it starts out at 50 when we fish the southern end of the states and it drops. But our classic champ, there was 18 boats and it paid $7,500 for first, and I got $4,000 for second at the classic.
Holy cow!
That's not a bad payday. That's more than I'll make this week.
Yeah, we travel the whole state, and nobody wants to travel the whole state. And then when they post the schedule, we all complain about going south, and everybody south complains about going north. And we would have had more boats, but we got a lot of guys that were 6 hours away from the Classic Plus that didn't come.
So I thought that the numbers were down in our area too. And then there's a club that started about 5 years ago, the No Nonsense series out of Prairie du Chien. And our average boat count, and that's one pool only, no locking, 1 day tournament. We're drawing almost 85 boats a tournament on that thing. 90% payback. Like they're doing phenomenal. I think a lot of it is they do a really good job with marketing. They're really their site's professional. They do a lot of live stuff for weigh-ins, and they do a lot of cool things.
Signing up for as many contingencies for boats as they can, so no matter what you run, you can get another $500 to $1,000 if you win the tournament, right?
The believe it or not, the Nitro Triton Ranger package is up to, I think it's like $8,000 if you have the right qualifying boat.
Yeah,
for just the contingency alone. So yeah, we get a lot of BFL guys. We get a lot of guys that travel from 2 to 4 hours away to come fish that. So it's pretty cool.
Also low enough that they're getting a big field.
Yeah,
but the fields are now big enough. The contingencies are attracting the guys that are serious.
Correct.
So.
Yeah, there's kind of a weird stigma around here. Like if you fish Federation, Bass Club stuff, you're not a serious tournament fisherman. And I disagree with that wholeheartedly, but you don't see as many guys that I would say are ultra competitive fishing those events. It's kind of got this weird, oh, he's fishing a club derby or he's fishing a federation event. Like it's not glorified like fishing a BFL or Toyota or I don't know. I don't understand that because there's a way to get to the classic and through those events, and you get some really good experience out of it, traveling, fishing some different water. It makes no sense to me now. My work schedule just don't allow me to really go anywhere and fish right now. So
Yeah, I kind of understand that.
I've fished BFLs, but they're on Saturdays, and I've always worked second and third shift up till this week. So just to get off work early on a Friday or take a day off on a Friday to go down to pre-fish was one vacation day, and you only get so many of them a year.
Yeah, that's not good. So my understanding, and we got a little with Baitman here. This would be good. And being in the heart of FLW, I mean, basically where the BFL spawned out of, right, is down by Baitman.
yeah,
But right, I think they keep them on Saturdays, right, so that people can go to church on Sundays, right? Like that's what I've always heard, right? I don't know. Like to
well,
me, I think the numbers, at least up where we live, would go way like they would fill the BFLs if they were on Sundays. And you only did like if you could take off like Thursday afternoon, get 2.5 days of practice in, and only like lose 1 day of vacation and fish a Sunday BFL, and then just be dog tired on Monday morning, I would be way more likely to get into BFLs. But like, I don't have enough vacation time to be taking off 2 to 3 days for every BFLs and fish everything else that I want to. And I'm not going to roll down on a day and a day and a half of practice and think I'm going to kick Cade Laufenberg's and Mike Brigham and Kevin Rue's ass, when they're down there like every single, day every weekend. So to me, I think, I would like, I don't know what you think, Baxter, but like up where we live, I think the BFL's numbers would go up on Sundays. What do you guys think, Taylor and Devin? Or do you not think so?
I mean, I could see both sides of it. I think it just kind of depends. It's everybody's life's a little bit different. For me, Saturdays actually work better with kids because I don't have to rely on my wife. We have daycare opportunities and things during the week, whereas the weekend, that's a whole weekend alone with kids without me around. So Saturdays are kind of nice for me because I can get home at a decent time. But on the flip side, I agree. The majority of people fishing these tournaments probably don't want to burn or have enough vacation time to burn multiple days every tournament. So I agree with you that if you don't have any other obligations, a Sunday tournament is a lot better for you. So
I don't know if you just read that, but that piece of paper says Sunday overtime. So that happens a lot around here. And I'll work it because I'll make more in this plant than I can make in a BFL unless I win. So,
oh yeah,
sure. But
nobody ever said fishing was a good idea financially. That's for sure.
oh no,
No.
no, it's never stopped. FLW, MLF. I'm still going to call them FLW because from having super tournaments on Saturdays and Sundays, and also they have rescheduled BFLs on Sunday. The LBL, the first 2 or 3 got rescheduled, and they ran 2 back-to-back BFLs this year, I believe. So
that's happened in the Great Lakes Division too. When they've had like high water washouts, they'll double up on a weekend.
But I don't know if it's still, if they post that overtime on a Sunday, I've still got to take vacation time, and so everybody wants to talk about working man's trail. There's really not a true working man doesn't sit in a cubicle 9 to 5. Some guys are blessed with a good job like that, and that's fine. But guys like Dustin said, he works second, third. So I'm on seconds. I work 3 p.m. to 11 p.m. and then whatever overtime before or after. So it can be tough. It's when there's not overtime, there's a lot of time. I could practice 3-4 days in a row, honestly, still get my 40 hours in, but then all of a sudden they slap a overtime on Saturday. So, but I don't know. But at the end of the day, if you got scope, it don't matter. The fish just jump in the boat. Who needs practice? Just shine that laser, baby, and they're coming in the boat. Just ask Randy.
If the Illini Trail fish their tournaments on Sunday. Nobody would weigh a bass on Sunday because all get caught in an extra day of practice.
Yeah, I think that helps a lot too. Is not, I mean, on the river, the river gets so beat up. I think it helps to not have that extra free day of practice for everybody.
I
Let me
think one
ask you
thing.
this. HellaBass, have y'all talked about the rumor of the 3 hours of forward facing in the BFLs?
No, I mean we haven't talked about that at all. I mean, I don't think it's happening this year. I think I could see it though. Like they're going to try it in the pro circuit, right? But then if they can prove that they can do it with the technology and those whatever 150 boats, and it's economical, I can see them rolling it down in future years to the Toyota and BFL. I doubt that they're prepared to do it this year, but
I think you will see a big change come January.
yeah. I mean, obviously, we don't know what we've heard speculation, but nobody has come out and said what it is. I've heard it's some kind of electronic Ethernet interrupter that's on a timer of somehow.
But from what I was told, they're going to go the same deal they've tried. The co-angler will have a key and he will lock it out. So my question is, I'm cool with it either way. If you want to run it all day or you want to run it 3 hours, whatever. But my question is, how are you going to police that? How are you going to make sure the co-angler's doing his job? So now your co-angler's more than just a fisherman and kind of an observer. Now he has a job, and if he doesn't do his job and forgets, people get busy tying on lures or whatever, and he forgets to lock out a guy's device after 3 hours. So you disqualify the co-angler and the boater, or the boater, or there's a lot of intricacies in that could make it bad on some people, not
I think
intentionally.
they'd be way better off than trying to limit it in the BFLs and just getting rid of it.
Yeah, I agree. Trying to police that's going to be next to
Yeah.
impossible. And I fish the river mostly, so I catch way more grass than bass with forward facing sonar anyway.
I mean, the Great Lakes division is the one division that isn't really suffering for co-anglers, or
No.
one of the few. I mean, obviously in the May, it plays big.
Yeah, roughly
in
eighth through
perspective
the
mode.
10th.
But the rest of the year, I mean, you can catch fish that it can help you, but it's not dominant. It's just not.
No.
I never turned mine on.
You guys aren't scoping with a frog yet?
No, not yet.
No.
Mine doesn't even work, and I haven't even tried to repair it. So that's where I'm at. I'm just
on day 2, I took my screen completely off that's hooked to it and just left it in the truck.
I like to use mine so I can see where the stumps are before I run into them with the trolling motor.
Yeah, you miss on occasion.
Yeah, I did do that. Yeah, pre-fishing for the BFL, I did break my trolling motor.
I planned on going up there and scoping the current breaks and stuff, but there was so much eelgrass floating down on 10, it looked like a crop on day 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing with the river is when you can finally catch them out in the current, the eelgrass takes over, and then you got to get creative. So it makes it a real challenge. So I love looking at it. Honestly, it's fun, but I agree. Where I fish most of the time, it doesn't play, and we're usually up in the grass throwing a frog. So I'm not turning screens on or anything when we're doing that. But
I gotta go.
situational.
I think my supervisor. No, I'm good now. I almost had to eject myself.
I just can't imagine going. There's you got to walk up on that boater's front deck and lock a key or unlock. I don't know. That seems like it's not going to go over well. I mean, for 80-90% of the guys, it's not going to be a problem. But for that, you got co-anglers who are going to fall asleep, not going to pay attention, not even not go to the. That seems like a pipe dream.
Let me ask you this:
way more problems than it's going to help.
When was the last time bass or major league fishing made a great decision regards to tournament rule enforcement that everybody agreed with and said, "Yep, that's the way it's going to be. Yep, that's a good idea." Obviously, you're going to have a few no's, but
I mean,
lately, neither of them make much sense, to be honest with you.
I mean, up in the Great Lakes division, the closest BFL to me, and it's next to Taylor and Devon. If they ban scope, I don't think there would be any change. There'd be a few guys that would go in, and a few guys would drop out. They would still basically have the same number of boats. What would it do for the Illini division, Dustin?
You'd probably get a few more that come back because I think their numbers really dwindled this year. But
And you'd get more co-anglers back, probably.
yeah, but I mean, they're fishing Shelbyville. It's got 10 bass in it. They're fishing Wren, which is a shallow mud hole, and the numbers. I mean, you catch 3. I was told if you catch 1 bass in the Illini division all year long, you're going to the regional. And the regional is going to be 45 minutes from my house, and I didn't even try to get into it the last 2 years.
Yeah. What about in the LBL?
I think you might get a few more. You might not. You actually may lose because if you look at the results in the LBL, a lot of these top 10, top 15 anglers, and I hate to say it, they're good fishermen, but they're scopers. And if they ain't got a scope, they're hoping. Now, saying that, my buddy Justin Berger, he fished the Illini Super Tournament and won it, and he is not a scoper. He's a very well-versed fisherman that's done very well at Shelbyville, Rand. He goes up and fishes the Illini's, but he lives and breathes it. I don't know how many of these guys would, you stick them on a Wren Lake or Kincaid or these other places like Dustin fishes the river. How many of them could show up and even compete? Because they know one thing, going out to a flat and hey, I'm jealous. I wish I could do it. That's just not me. I think you would lose a lot of the Murray State, the young college, the mid 20-year-old guys that if they're not biting a minnow, they're not fishing it.
Are they struggling for co-anglers in that division or not? That's what I keep hearing all over the country is that and then if they don't get co-anglers, right, they don't fill the boater field, right? Because they don't.
No, actually, this year I've got called twice and asked if I want to fish as boater, and I just, I said no, I wasn't prepared. But LBL always seems to be co-angler heavy, and the reason is, it's Kentucky, Barkley Lakes mostly. You draw guys from Evansville, Illinois, Nashville. We get guys from North Alabama, Central Missouri. You're drawing a lot of people, and it's a big lake. It's got fish in it. It's fun to fish, whether you scope it or not, especially you hit it at the right time. I mean, I know a few co-anglers that have outfished their boater easily, and their boater's they're throwing at dots, and they're just reeling a small swim bait behind them, throwing where the boater's not, and catching these fish they're missing. So I've always had an overabundance of co-anglers versus boaters, and that's whether you had 100 boats or first BFL I ever fished had 226 boats, and they needed co-anglers or needed boaters, so it went lopsided.
Last year at the BFL regional, we actually had boaters that had more than one co-angler because they couldn't get enough boats for the regional.
That's why they let them fish the release pipe.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the whole thing.
That thing was a whole catastrophe from start to finish. But
I think they need to move it to a different pool. I'm qualified for it because I fished 2 BFLs. I won the one out of Prairie, so I qualified for it. But I'm not even going to fish it because I got to work. But I'm not even mad about it because it's down on pool 15.
Yeah, they're letting them fish 16, 15, and 14. You can't go to 13 this year. You can't go to 17. But the problem they have down here on the river is finding a pool with enough lodging.
Or enough bass.
I got to get back to work, guys.
Thanks, man.
Just thought I'd jump in. Doing a great job, Rich. Dustin, good to see you, buddy.
See you, buddy.
Other guys, y'all have a good evening.
See ya.
But even in the Quad Cities, where they're having it at, they don't have the motels to even carry that. I mean, FLW fished there a couple times. BASS fished there a couple times. But when I found out, I'm like, where the heck are all these people going to stay? And then they had the whole boat ramp fiasco and everything else. But I just wonder where they're going to move the regional to if they keep it Great Lakes and the Illini and try to keep it within driving distance of them both and not fish bodies of water they already fish. It's going to be tough.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's not a lot of tournament water in the area. The best lake in the state is a long ways away from northeast Iowa, so unfortunately.
I don't think Illinois got a good lake in the state. That's Springfield's decent, but it's got a 35-mile-an-hour speed limit, and it's 2,000 acres. Clinton Lake's great. It's 2,000 acres, but you can't put them kind of boat numbers on those lakes.
No. Well, Rich talked about earlier, Okoboji is a great lake, but if you're out there anywhere past like the middle of May, you're going to get run over by pleasure boaters. So it's kind of a locked lake most of the year.
Well, I'm going to jump off here. I got to go to bed. Day shift life calls.
Thanks, Dustin.
Yep.
Appreciate it.
Thanks, guys.
See ya.
Yeah, I don't need to keep you all night either, Rich. If you got to
Well,
go.
we got to take a 1-minute break, and then we're going to come back, and then Devin's going to give us some scope secrets. So
I am.
Everybody
Oh,
tune
boy.
in.
Are you ready to reel in your next home purchase or refinance? Supreme Lending's Dream Team can help guide you through the entire mortgage process, from pre-qualification to closing. We have a wide variety of home loan programs in our tackle box, including down payment assistance and first-time homebuyer options. You can ask HellaBass. He trusted us to help finance his home. Contact the Dream Team today by searching Supreme Lending Dream Team, or click the link below in the description, or scan the QR code on your screen.
All right. Looks like Devin fell over. His phone must have fell over. But shout out to the Dream Team supporting the show. But
yeah, it's kind of fun. So.
There you go.
So yeah, I mean,
We're back.
you can go, you can come. Like, don't feel like you're chained, Taylor. The show will go on, but appreciate you coming on if you want to hang out. Otherwise, if you want to check in on the zombie flicks, you can do that too.
No, I don't. But if I kind of want to stick around and hear what Devin's got for Scroggin tips, so I didn't get enough of that this summer. See
Well,
what
we
he's
know
got.
Devin absolutely scoped his way to the national championship. That's like just fact.
That actually is true. I did scope my way to the national championship. Yeah.
He went down to Pickwick and he shook a minnow and jerked a jerkbait on scope and caught him.
I didn't do much minnow shaking, but it was definitely jerkbaiting on the first day, jerkbaiting on the second day. I did catch my 5th keeper on a minnow on the second day, and then the third day I did mix in a spinnerbait, but I only had 2 fish.
Did most of your work. Your first 2 day bags carried you, and you just kind of limped across the finish line.
Yeah, Megabass Vision 110 and a Vision 110 +1 carried me through it. So took the last spot. I was in 8th after the first 2 days and then fell to the last spot. So I'll take it.
Right on. So do you think I don't know, like, so what's so for the people at home that I don't know, any general tips if they have just getting into scope? What like, so Pickwick, like a lot of trash fish, just a lot of fish on your screen, which is similar to the Mississippi River. Like, what are your tips for fishing through the noise and figuring out how to find the bass on a place like Pickwick?
My biggest thing at Pickwick is I tried to figure out the smallmouth deal up at the dam, but there was so many drum up there that you just couldn't do it. So then I went down the river and kind of fished some of like I guess you call them like river bars. And what I would find is I wasn't actually targeting fish, but I was targeting structure. So I caught all my fish off of just stumps that were in like 12 to, I guess, all the way up to the bank, really. And I was scoping them off the stump. So throw at the stump, throw your jerkbait down to it. And sometimes you could see them on there before, but most of the time you get your bait around it and they'd come up to it and you'd see them.
So you weren't always casting at fish. You were casting at cover and structure, and then the fish would pull up, and then you would kind of like.
Yeah, I think I was like the one guy on the final day that didn't run 55 miles to the other end of the lake. I only ran like 10 miles down the river.
Because you guys you didn't take out of. No, I thought you did take out of Florence.
We
Did you or
took
not?
out of Florence, and most everybody was fishing down on the other end of the lake.
Wasn't like Nick Trim and the other guy like fishing right across?
Yeah, there
Like-
was Nick and Grant Newbauer. They were the smallmouth guys. They stayed up by the dam and caught smallmouth.
I think they were literally across, like right on that bluff, right across, like just quarter mile
Yeah.
across. Like they went straight across.
Yep. And then I think Grant was actually, I saw him fishing on day 3. He was actually fishing like not in the middle of the river, but out in 20 plus feet of water, kind of on some offshore rock
Yeah,
and stuff.
that because I fished the national championship that Schlopper won, and like it seems like, oh, I'm just gonna go up below the tail race, find some. It is when you get up there is unbelievably overwhelming.
Yeah.
It seems like it should be the easiest thing in the world, but it is definitely not the easiest thing in the world to go up below the tail race on Pickwick and find them and catch them.
Yeah, and the part that they call the horseshoe, which is like, I guess not where the water's coming through, but kind of the current break of that whole deal. I mean, it was just your whole screen was just covered with drum. It was ridiculous. It's
Man,
like
I had a
anytime I
team.
picked up a minnow on Pickwick, I was catching drum.
Yeah, we didn't have minnows. At least we weren't being talked about, and I didn't know about them when I was there in like 2021. No, what was it? I don't know, 22. Like, but like just showing like a true bass. Like back then, like the hollow body true bass was like that's the true drum up there, man. Like I get on a seam and just like 5 to 10 pounders, one right after another, just
Yeah.
hammering it. It's unreal.
I tried that deal too, and I got snagged on the first cast and then retied and then got snagged again. And I said, I'm not doing that anymore.
That's a good question here. Speaking of jerk baits, do you feel like your cadence is different when you're scoping a jerk bait versus when you're not?
Yeah, 100%. I think it doesn't change because you're looking at it on the scope, but it changes when you see a fish chasing it.
Yeah.
For sure.
I think you tend to fish your jerk bait faster on scope until you see something, and then you like lock in and then try to like be very deliberate on how you which you may fish it but like then you're just constantly changing it, trying to see what that fish is going to react to.
Yeah, I used to fish a jerkbait like super slow in the spring, but like even this year I got out when the lake was half froze, and if you got that thing within 3 feet of a fish, I mean they would come up and crush it. Like everybody talks about, oh, you got to pause your jerkbait for 20 seconds. I completely disagree now with LiveScope. As long as you get it to them, you can get them to react. I think that a jerkbait's the best bait there ever is just to get a reaction out of a fish. If you get it in front of a bass, they're gonna at least come look at it. And then if they don't bite it, you can try changing colors and stuff and getting them to eat it. But yeah, I think they'll
Best
always
analogy I
eat
heard
it.
is when we were pausing 5, 10, 15, 20 years ago, we were just waiting for a fish to swim by.
Yeah.
It wasn't really that like there was a fish sitting there like staring at your jerkbait. You were like your jerkbait was just sitting down there waiting for a fish to like come down a weed line or a rock line or a whatever. Like,
Yeah, from what I've noticed, if you just let it pause in front of them, they'll just turn and swim away.
yeah, like yeah, and you kind of like can see. Yeah, do they want it just kind of consistent? Do they want it like fleeing from them? Like after a couple of fish, you can usually kind of figure out what they want that day, and most of the fish will kind of conform to that. And it seems like once they kind of look at it, almost most of the time, it's faster is better.
Yeah. Yeah, usually you can tell if they're gonna eat it or not. Like it was on the day 2 of Pickwick, I pulled up on a new spot and there was a stump there and I threw up there and I watched this big one follow it out and I'm like, he's not gonna eat it, and it didn't eat
It's
it.
too
I came back 3 hours, well not 3 hours, probably an hour later, and threw to that fish again on the stump, and it came out, and it was slow. And I literally told my co, I was like, she's not going to eat it. And then she did, but I thought for sure it wasn't going to eat it just the way it was acting. But
Just wasn't
I don't
delivered fast enough. Wasn't.
yeah. They're all different, but
Well, it depends, in my opinion, too. Like if on the river when you're throwing a jerkbait, a lot of times that time of year you're around a school of fish too, and you get
Yep.
that schooling mentality. So a jerkbait on the river is hard to beat when they're on it because, like I said, you get it around them and they come unglued on it, and there's usually 2 or 3 fighting for it. So it's a
Yep,
fun,
And if the one
bite.
that you're not sure is going to hit it, there's one that's going to come out of nowhere and smoke it. Like
yeah,
Exactly.
I threw one today, and I had a fish following it, and he didn't look like he was gonna eat it. And then all of a sudden, right up from the bottom, one comes up, shoots up, and eats it. So you get that little bit of competition in there, and they crush it.
honestly, I think that same dynamic is what happens in good mats,
Yeah.
right? Like
Yeah.
good mat
With
where you're
frogs.
getting bites. There's more fish there, and I think we can't see it. I don't think the LiveScope's that good yet, but like I think there's literally fish like doing that under the mat, and then once like that's what happens most of the time. I think it's really tough to catch a fish and a frog, or a fish out of a mat on a frog if they're a solo fish.
Yeah.
They bite different. I would agree. The bite is more ferocious. It seems like if you're around a school of them, or they might miss it completely, but they're blowing it 3 feet out of the water, and then it lands and another one bites it. I mean, yeah, you get that chaos situation, which is super fun. But
Yeah, you don't. I mean, when you know that, I mean, yeah, when there's a group and you know it, and like literally like one rolls on it, and before his tail goes down, one's coming. You're like, okay, they're in there. But I think even the times when you're just like, like you're working it really slow and you're just getting a bite, like I still think there's multiple fish in there, and like most of the time, like, and that's what's causing them to finally be like, no, it's like I'm not gonna let you get that bone. Like I'm gonna get that bone.
yeah.
Yeah.
Did you learn anything this summer frogging?
What's that?
Well, did you learn anything frogging this summer? We had lots of opportunities. I know Devin did a lot of frogging. Hella, did
I
you do
didn't learn anything.
No tips or
Nothing you're
tricks?
gonna talk about today.
I got a new frog hack, but I don't know if I can say it.
Gotcha.
Taylor, you can talk to Tony. He's already got it figured out. I was kind of mad about that when he told me tonight.
Oh, I think, yeah, I got you. I think I know that one probably. Swapping around some stuff.
Yeah, doing a little swippity swap.
Yeah, I mean, I did a little bit. I didn't get to do as much frogging as I'd want. I only fished, I guess, 2 tournaments on the river, and one of them I completely screwed up. I thought I was going to catch one on a frog. That didn't work out.
Yeah, what's the classic bass format? What are your thoughts on that after fishing that?
Yeah, I mean, I had fished it before in birding season at Ass. I'm planning to fish. I mean, unless the schedule is just doesn't work or something like that, like I'm planning to fish it next year. Like I really enjoy it. It's I mean, it's a challenging format. It's fun. It's a good circuit. The payouts are pretty good. Yeah. We don't talk about the flapping frog, Brian.
Dude, that thing's so blown out now, Rich. It's insane.
I mean, people are so dumb they're wearing hats with it on it. Like,
yeah, it's crazy. No, like 2 years ago, nobody was throwing it. Now, like every tackle shop on the river, they sell out with it in like a day. It's insane.
I kind of wish they would have never. The biggest mistakes Pro made was actually changing the flapping frog to where it's more durable and usable now.
Yeah, the first one you'd catch like one bass on.
Now you can catch 100 fish on it. It's amazing.
Yeah. If you knew what the modifications were to get it to work before, you could actually make it work, and no one else was wanting to throw them because it was a pain. But now everybody throws them. So
here's the thing. Here's my thought. Because you guys are obviously frog connoisseurs. Like, what if they came out with a bronze-eye like plus, and they made it out of the same material as the flappy frog? Wouldn't that be like
you're getting close?
Well, you're putting the flappy frog hook in the regular Pro, probably.
No, we're not doing that.
No, we wouldn't do that. That's what I'm saying is like, I was talking to somebody else the other day and I was like, make the Spro floating frog out of that elastomer. Give me that nano coated Gamakatsu in it. Charge me
Yeah.
$20 and twice on Sunday, and you probably won't you'll just take my money forever.
I think the one thing that would screw you is the skirt would melt to the frog.
So they would
And
have
it
to come up
wouldn't
with
work.
a different. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
there's got to be. I mean,
There's ways around that, I'm sure.
I'm sure there's
Just
different
put
types of
blades in it.
silicone or rubber. Yeah, something.
So the only thing I think that would hurt you is depending on the type of cover you're fishing in. I'll try and throw the flapping frog about anywhere, but if you're getting in some heavier pads and stuff, it does collapse and
The
get hung
wild
up.
rice, like it would want to pull down on the hooks. Like so in real thick wild rice, real big thick pads, you wouldn't want that soft body. But like for duckweed,
oh yeah,
Yeah. Like this time of year, I didn't even fish a flapping frog today. Usually like and towards like the earlier season of the year when the grass isn't so grown up, or if I'm fishing like eel grass, that's the deal. But once you get into like mat season, I don't think it's as big of a player.
I agree. You're spending more time cleaning the hooks out usually than you
Yeah.
are.
If it lands upside down, you're screwed.
yeah, I got some ideas on how to do the nose that I want to try this. But what's up, BBC?
Yeah, there's definitely some things to that.
What's up, fella?
Do you even throw frogs, or you just all swim baits now?
I throw frogs. There's only a short period of time I'll throw a frog, but I've never tried the flapping frog. I need to.
No, it sucks.
Yeah, that's terrible. I wouldn't do that.
Overrated.
Wink.
This is how about these ones?
That's
what in the world is that?
a lot of leg on those bad boys.
What is
Rich,
it,
you should
BBC?
throw those at the natty.
What are
should
they,
have
Brendan?
The classic we were gonna trade.
Yeah. These are the 316s, right?
The 316s. Yep.
What do they call these
The
again?
no bullfrog.
No bullfrog.
It's a fun one.
You
Good one.
actually have to Texas rig and get basically a soft plastic frog. It's kind of hollow, and they obviously don't buzz or they just kind of do like a natural frog movement.
Huh.
It's like a soft-bodied swim bait frog, basically.
I just throw it on top of the grass of the pads, and it like weighs it down a lot more than a normal frog. So those bass are like more apt to eat it in that way, in that sense, because it weighs more. It's more of a bigger presence. There's no.
It would be
action.
terrible
I
in
don't
duckweed.
fish it in any
It
open water.
definitely more of like a pad frog.
Gotcha.
Just moves your grass a little bit, gives it some presence.
Have you had much success on the Spro King Daddy, the big one?
I've never bought one or thrown one, but I've heard rumors that they have a time and a place.
They seem to have a time and a place. It's hard to get a good hookup on them. There's a lot of meat there to get a fish to eat it just right, so you can actually get a good hook on. But
Yeah,
you can
I don't really mess
you
with
put
it.
enough weight in them, you can really move some pretty thick mats with them. So
Only time I've ever caught fish on them was up in Minnesota when we were catching the crap out of frogfish. So I threw one on to test it out. But yeah, not the best hookup ratio.
What are your thoughts about like when you need to bulk up, like going with like a live target or something like a bigger profile like that?
Spro.
So,
More of a gabacho guy myself.
yeah, I know a lot of guys are switching to the Swamp Lords, whether it's just marketing or just. I've thrown the Bullywaz, the River to Sea. I've thrown that a little bit here or there and had good luck with that.
Oh, I've seen those. What is that? Reaction Innovations, what do they call that?
Swamp Donkey.
Swamp donkey.
Swamp Donkey.
His legs are a mile long on that one.
Have you guys thrown the Zoom frog?
Is that a Strike King?
No, this is the Swamp Donkey.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I couldn't see the head of it.
So if you look, like the hooks, like the angle of the hooks are very, they're soft. I mean, these are like, so this one is the newer one, which they don't make very many of them, but this is one of like the OG ones. Like these ones go for like $50-$60 on eBay.
Jeez.
Yeah, that's probably why I haven't heard of them, because I fish around too many pike. I got too many pike to be throwing $50 frogs. Is that why they're on your shelf yet, Rich?
Frog box is full.
Yeah, he might have it worse than we do.
Yeah, I could show you the shop. I got a real problem, but not. That's interesting though.
Pad Crasher is the #1 bang for your buck frog.
God, those things suck.
What don't you like about the Pad Crasher?
I don't know. I haven't thrown a pad crasher for years, so I really shouldn't say that. But I think they're really light.
They're still a little smaller, a little lighter, but they're soft. I feel like
Yeah.
the hookups are pretty good on them. They're easier for the pike to swallow, but they don't hurt as bad because you can buy them at Walmart for $6.
Yeah,
That's true.
I think the flapping frog price now is like, I saw some somewhere for like 15 or $16. It's insane. And didn't all Z-Man go up 25%? Jackhammers are $20 now.
I think the tariffs are jacking prices up right now.
Yeah, we need like the HellaBass discount code to go up to like 30%.
We still do have a few days
Do us a
left if you
solid,
haven't
Hella.
used your Omnia code in September. On the bottom of the screen. Good segue, Devin.
Thanks.
How fast does Omnia get their stuff down to northern Iowa?
It's fast. They just need to have it in stock, and I'd buy more.
Is there
hard to keep
anything
the,
on your agenda, Brendan, you want to talk about?
Hold a sec.
Do they not have
What'd you say?
electricity in Georgia? No
What'd you say there?
lights? So do you not have electricity or lights in Georgia, or?
No, my shop just, I mean, I can try my shop, but I mean, normally the audio and video just goes to like crazy.
Because you have to go outside to get a signal.
Is it better?
Look
I
at
can
that.
see you.
That's his bait making room there. Think of all the things you could do with frogs if you had a room like that.
Yeah.
There you go.
Excellent.
Maybe this would be good.
Yeah.
You guys
So
can
with
hear me?
any topics you want to cover, or are you just hanging out, Brendan?
Well, no, nothing really new. I'm headed to TK's tomorrow. Hopefully do fishing, but it looks like it's gonna storm, so I think we're just gonna be
So should we
guitars and
expect a
baits.
live from the
Maybe. We'll see. I don't know.
are you bringing him any presents, or are you just going up
I'm bringing him a
empty-handed,
motor.
or what kind of motor? For his fan?
No, he's got a little boat now. Got a
Oh, a little
one
P-row?
he's working on. So I'm giving him my my beat up Mariner 15 horse.
Do you have an old battery charger you can bring him?
Battery charger. I do.
He complains that he has 3 batteries, but he only has 1 charger, and he's too cheap to go buy one. It takes him 3 days to charge his batteries. So
That is
if you've
true.
got an old charger that you're not using, I was gonna box it up and ship it to him out of my garage. So
Man, he just needs to go to Walmart and go get a charger.
I know they're not that expensive. Like you can get a
They
decent
aren't.
like $20. Like
Not too expensive. But yeah.
So what any special projects you're working on, Brendan?
Nothing really too crazy at the moment. Just working on
No?
baits. I mean, I got a few new designs I'm working on. Nothing too crazy at the moment. Just gonna start building stuff for the classic.
For the classic. Are you gonna be in the same booth?
Not entirely sure. I think I might get my own booth this year. So we'll see.
Have you got a quote on how much a booth is at the classic?
I have. They're a
Are you
little
gonna have
pricey.
that many baits ready that you're gonna justify that, or are you just gonna do it for the F of it?
I'm probably a little both.
Yeah.
I made enough
Just
last year to
you're gonna spend
just
some of
about
that horse
cover it.
money on a classic booth or what?
Yeah, maybe. I was able to cover it last year, like if I got my own booth. So hoping to have like double or triple the amount of baits and maybe cover it and come out with maybe $100. I don't know. We'll see.
Mhm.
Maybe enough just to buy dinner. That'll be
It's
it.
a shorter drive this time, so that'll keep your expenses down.
It is.
Taylor, Devin, you guys go the classic ever?
I never have. Hopefully next year, but maybe I'll be fishing it.
Yeah, I have not been. It's on my to-do list here in the near future, hopefully, but I'd love to go as a participant, but probably a visitor would be a good goal.
It's a time. I don't know. Like it's fun. I shook Darius's hand last time we were in Knoxville.
I don't know what Darius is going. Look at that. Thank you, Brian.
Look at this.
I appreciate it.
Bobby says you can't be driving up to Alabama. You got to finish 10-inch glide.
Bobby,
you ain't even going to throw a 10-inch glide. Why would you buy one? You ain't going to throw it.
Bobby, I'm not foiling another bait for you. Not a single one. Don't push it. Not another one.
Have we thought about foiling frogs? Do we think?
I was just gonna say that.
Hey, don't be giving away the juice.
Give it a good crunch.
You might be able to get a paint that'll stick to it. I don't know.
Honestly,
like
actually,
paint.
Why does my freaking webcam keep falling? It's ridiculous.
You gotta get a RAM mount.
I can get a RAM mount from a monitor. What I forget Biggs.
James Biggs.
Jason? What's that?
James Biggs, isn't it?
Where
He's been
lit the melted the bottom of his frog and then dipped it in glitter.
Yeah,
really?
I was actually. Yeah, well, cat's out of the bag on that one. I was actually tempted to try that on some flapping frogs next year. I don't know how that plastic's gonna melt and handle that though. If you can get it hot enough to take glitter without completely deforming, I'll let you know.
No, I want.
Assume you just if people want to get baits, they just slide into your IG, I imagine, right?
Yep, Instagram or Facebook.
Brown Bait Co.
Yep.
Also known as the BBC.
Good to know. Careful what you Google, folks.
Yeah, don't. Yeah. What happens if you type BBC? I'm guessing on Instagram that probably doesn't go so well either. I would imagine.
Probably doesn't.
Definitely search Brown Bait Co.
You're not the top result on there yet, huh?
No, not yet.
It's a good goal.
I need to get back to work on that one. That was about 3 years ago, I think. Still haven't messed with it. Still need to go after that thing. Yeah, definitely don't go looking up BBC.
Nice.
I actually signed whenever I first branded my name, like my actual company, Brown Bait Company. I signed like probably 150 baits BBC before Amy and you pointed it out to me, and I was like, "Wow, that was really dumb."
So for you, I mean, Brendan is like, are you 22 now? 21?
20.
20? It's
Yeah.
weird. Were you drinking a beer at the Classic?
No.
What? So you started your Brown Bait Company when you were like 16, 17?
Somewhere around there, maybe.
Right. And so like in your innocence, you had no
Pretty
idea what BBC was.
Exactly. Yeah. Not
Devin
a
still
smart
doesn't. He's too
decision of
busy
a research.
scoping. He has no idea what we're talking about.
No.
They don't have that in
frogs
Northern
and
Iowa, do
spooks.
they?
No.
There's no BBC in Northern Iowa.
No.
Well, if you get over to Iowa City, there is, but you know.
We stay away from there. Waterloo.
It's a big black crappie over on the wall, right? Big black crappie.
Yeah, we got big black catfish.
Big black crappies. What town is Iowa State in? What's that city? Ames?
Ames, Des Moines.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's some BBC
Ames,
around
Des
there.
Moines, Iowa City, Waterloo. It's got to stay out of the center of the state.
Yeah.
Yeah, all right.
But Georgia,
you gotta
there's
live
plenty
out in a cornfield and you'll be all right.
Cool. 10:15. I feel like we've kind of covered. It was good hanging out. We're probably going to shut her down unless anybody's got any burning topics they want to talk about.
Nope.
I think
No.
most of us, 3 of us are
I
working
gotta-
real jobs tomorrow. So
Who's the yeah. That guy.
Yeah.
Going to have fun.
Nice. Good
Oh,
for
Ellen,
you.
I have to ask you this though. Were
Yeah.
you really throwing those swim baits that you had tied onto your deck, onto your rods? Were you really throwing them, or was that just a post?
the lake I went to ended up being so shallow, weedy, and dirty. I did not throw them. I had intentions. I scouted a new lake, and I'd never been there. So my intent was, but that wasn't the thing. Like all the fish I caught were like under trees in grass mats on frogs and things like that. Like it wasn't like, and then like any of the shallow cover where I would have thrown the glide bait, it wouldn't have. No. So I wanted to. The lake didn't set up for it.
I'll give it to you. Good job for
I'm saving them for the natty, the big glides.
I
Hey,
still
I
got to
got-
buy another one. I broke
I
off
got-
my
yeah.
one Chad Shad at Okoboji this year, and I got to get me another one.
Yeah, I got
Like
3
an
big.
OG or a Spro Chad.
I just throw the Spro. I'm poor.
Get you
I don't have a real Spro Chad. I've got other real swimbaits. I don't have a real Chad.
Neither do I.
That's like the only one I've ever thrown is a Spro. Not much of a glider.
You don't
Scoping
really
and gliding goes hand in hand.
honestly.
They do like to follow it.
It's
This
My
is true.
best story was finding a school of fish on the Spro that I caught on different baits in the tournament. Like in practice, it revealed a giant wad of fish that I caught doing other things.
At Okoboji, we actually found a big school of fish with the glide in a weed bed. We couldn't get them to come up on anything, but you threw the glide bait to them and they would come up. They would come up on it, but then we couldn't catch them on anything else. But I did catch a 510 on it at the end of the day in the tournament, and then like 5 casts later, I had a pike headshot it, and I watched it sink to the bottom.
And 510 probably didn't win you big bass at that tournament. So
No, it didn't, and we didn't even get a check. We had 18 pounds and didn't even get paid.
got your feelings hurt is all you did.
Yep. Next year, though.
Fishing the boat, is it the open or a different one?
It's the Fairmount Bass Club, Fairmount, Minnesota Bass Club, Okoboji Open.
The one in May.
Yeah, and then they do one the day before, which I think is like Iowa Bass Seekers. We fished them both, but we just dumped our fish in the first one. We watched the winners catch them all right within casting distance of us. And then we had
Yeah,
like
that's the same
14
weekend.
pounds.
That's the same weekend as the St. Jude, though. So
Oh, is it? And I think it was also the same weekend as the Sturgeon Bay Open.
and it's going to be the same weekend next year as the opening practice of the qualifier in lacrosse.
Yeah, you guys can have that. I'll go to Boji.
You're gonna have a lot more fun in Boji probably. But
Yeah, I don't do spawning smallmouth that you can't see with your eyes.
I saw him with my eyes last year.
Did you? My best spawning smallmouth bite on the river was with a spinnerbait up the Wisconsin.
true story.
Wisconsin's in 9, 10.
10.
But I can't fish that.
No, not in
Not in the qualifier.
not in our tournament. So if you could run there and get back, in theory, if it was
I
legal,
would.
it would be worth it.
Yeah.
But not gonna happen for us.
That's a fun bite, though.
All right. Well, thanks everybody. We're gonna wrap it up. As always, here to help you guys catch more big bass, suck less, and maybe we'll mix these in every now and then if the people like it. It seems like people didn't mind it too much. So thanks everybody that participated, and you guys have a good night. And we'll see you in a couple weeks, Devin.
Yep. Good seeing you, Rich.
See you guys.